Saif Ali Khan, welcome to the show. Saif, as a Muslim, what are your concerns usually when you're offered films whose protagonists are featured as Islamic terrorists?
That it shouldn't be alarmist, that people shouldn't stereotype, and that the basic impression given shouldn't be that the next time you see a woman in a supermarket in America with a hijab on, that she might be carrying a bomb.
Right.
The fact of the matter, however, is that in recent times, the religion has come under a cloud. People are making remarks, educated people, informed people are making remarks like, perhaps not every Muslim is a terrorist, but every terrorist is a Muslim, it seems these days. Naturally, there seems to be a lot of grief from the Muslim world that is being exported to America and to the West. I think India and Pakistan is a separate kind of issue. It's an ongoing Kashmir issue. But religion has been a point of friction, action, violence, I think since the dawn of time.
Yeah.
And this is the way things are right now. So without being alarmist, I think what this film does is sets a love story, sets a relationship in a background of fundamentalist terrorism and tests that relationship, which is what any love story really is. I mean, it's a relationship that's being tested, either by a father's disapproval or, social disapproval. An unlikely relationship.
Right.
So I don't think you can get more unlikely than this.
Okay.
While my fear was that it shouldn't be alarmist, at the same time, sometimes when you get into a subject and you tell a story about, let's say, the world of fundamentalist terrorism, the film actually becomes anti-terrorist, because when you see the loss and when you see, it's almost like a moral tale of suffering and the things that happen in that story. It kind of works against it. At least it's something to talk about. It's something that spreads awareness and discussion.
In a simplistic manner sometimes.
Yeah, sure. But I think this is a little more complicated than those normal simplistic manners. I mean, even a film like Scarface that looks like it's glamorizing cocaine is actually an anti-drug film if you go to see.
You hear me? Uस plane पे bomb है.
कभी-कभी हमारी मर्जी अल्लाह की मर्जी नहीं होती.
Films with such themes invariably tend to reiterate too many cliches. You spoke about that. Do these stereotypes upset you?
I mean, yes. Not every long-bearded, mullah is necessarily an evil person.
Right.
But due to the Taliban and due to certain factions in the north, there are villains who are like that. And I mean, if I was making either a documentary or even Agent Vinod, I might have as one of my villains one of these people. And that's not stereotyping, that's just telling it how it is. That's like saying, that there's a Colombian drug dealer. Does not mean all Colombians are drug dealers.
Right.
But I mean, if I wanted to show a drug dealer, I mean, I'd show a Colombian. Perhaps.
Yeah.
And stereotyping is a human tendency. But whether or not it's altogether undeserved, I think the voice of moderate Islam needs to be put forward by responsible Muslims, and Muslims need to condemn people like the Taliban and terrorists in general, people who are brainwashing the kids who are perpetrating these acts of violence at 2611, instead of, I don't know, they're almost treated like stars instead of murderers. And the most frightening thing about fanaticism is that there seems to be no conscience or kind of backlash to it. Normally, if a man steals something or kills someone, he has his own conscience to deal with. Here, it seems that they're being promised paradise. So that's a bit worrying.
Sure.